今回は優勝から3週間経ってもまだ熱気の冷めない地元ロサンゼルスのドジャースワールドシリーズ優勝特番をお届けします。主力選手の徹底評価、カーショー選手のキャリアベスト10シーン、村上宗隆選手ドジャース入りなるかなど盛りだくさん。気になるシーンはタイムスタンプからご確認ください。現地放送を翻訳してお届けいたします。
It's been less than 3 weeks since the Dodgers won the World Series, and just like you, we still can't stop watching the highlights or talking about that unforgettable Game 7. Hi, everybody. John Hartung. Welcome to another World Series champion edition of Access Sportsnet Dodgers. We've got a lot to celebrate and discuss coming up, including the free agent fate of 2 of the Dodgers postseason heroes. Not only what's next for Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas, but the latest on Kike's elbow surgery and Miggy wanting to wrap up his career with another LA run. Plus, a second straight World Series title boosted the career legacies of some of the game's best. We'll discuss how the Big Show's performance, Freddie's walk-off, Mookie's 4th ring, and America's catcher all cemented their place in baseball history. And we're all envious of Clayton Kershaw, who's now loving every second of retired life. We'll look back at the GOATs going out on top. The best of Kersh and more ahead on Access Sportsnet Dodgers. Let's go. Welcome inside our Sportsnet LA studios, joined tonight by Jerry Hairston Jr. and David Vassay from AM 570 LA Sports. When I look over and see you guys kind of have that World Series championship glow about you still, Jerry.
Well, I feel like a champion, John. The Dodgers, obviously, all of us, we feel that way because they were able to pull through 7-game series. I still haven't come down off that high. I hope I don't.
He has a glow because he was just playing golf in Las Vegas for a week.
I know.
I'm glad we're doing this show right now because I got to get on Twitch to see what Blake Snell's going to say tonight.
Oh, is tonight a big Twitch night for Snellzilla?
Every night's a big Twitch night.
Okay. All right, let's get to the news at hand. Kike Hernandez posted from his hospital bed this past weekend, saying to his people in Puerto Rico and pain in his soul that he would not be able to play in the World Baseball Classic next spring with Puerto Rico on his chest after having surgery last Friday to repair a tear in his elbow extension muscle. The injury happened in May, and as we saw, Kike continued to play through the World Series, which he says also caused a broken bone. Now, Kike suffered this initial injury in late May, and he tried to play several weeks before going on the injured list in early July. We remember when he came back in August, DV, he admitted he didn't think he was going to be able to return at any point this season, but he found a way to manage the pain. He played all the way through October, and it says a lot about him, his heart and desire that he grinded through that injury.
Yeah, my understanding is he re-aggravated that elbow during the NLCS, so it was good up until then, and he had to get through a lot of pain to play in the World Series. Maybe part of the reason why offensively he wasn't the same this October as he has been in his career, but he made incredible defensive plays and has emerged as a great leader for the Dodgers going back to last October. But it just shows you what these guys were playing through that they never talked about.
Well, you know, John, you know this, a lot of us here, we talk to the players and we never want to put them out there like that. So we kind of hinted at someone, not just Kike, there are a couple guys that were dealing with some serious stuff. But we wanted the fans to let them know that, hey, these guys are warriors. They're grinding it out because they know how important just their presence in the lineup or defensively. We saw the presence of Kike Hernandez defensively make game-changing plays, and that's why he wanted to make sure he was there for his teammates. And that's how we root for these guys so hard, because they really put their careers sometimes on the line because these guys were injured, not just hurting, they were injured. Hopefully now, Kike Hernandez, after surgery, be ready to go come spring training.
When you get back to a World Series, guys are willing to do whatever it takes. Most guys willing to do whatever it takes to repeat as champions. Now, according to media reports, the Dodgers and Kike do have mutual interest in him staying here in L.A. And even if he's not ready, Jerry, for the start of the regular season, we know how important he is when you get to the postseason. It would be great to see Kike back in 26.
It is so hard to find guys that know how to win in the postseason. Kike Hernandez understands his role. He plays everywhere. You know exactly what you're going to get with him. You saw what we got with him when he was injured. He just had surgery, so I think it's vital that the Dodgers and Kike Hernandez find a way to get this thing done and make sure he is a Dodger moving forward. He is the perfect complement to the superstars we have on our roster and understand his role, especially now that he's a veteran. And I really believe these guys are going to get it done because Kike, Dodgers, they need to continue to coexist.
Well, take this for however you want, but he had surgery on his elbow. He's going to be out the first half of the season. I don't see many teams knocking down his door wanting to exceed what the Dodgers paid him last year. So this works out for a Kike Dodgers reunion. And the Dodgers don't need him to rush back. They need him in the second half of the season. So this seems to be not if, but when Kike signs back with the Dodgers now.
He's always been a second-half player anyway, so get Kike back in Dodger blue and have him for the second-half run and October as well. World Series hero Miguel Rojas was the guest of honor at Legends Attic in Claremont last Friday. Legends Attic posting this photo on Instagram. Miggy Rowe meeting with the fans, signing autographs, and really basking in the glory after his Game 7 moments, and the place was packed to see him there on Friday. And I was there at Legends Attic on Friday, and it was so great to see how much love all the Dodger fans were showing him. And Rojas has admitted that he's a bit overwhelmed by all of this attention. He wants to play one more year, DV, only wants to play for the Dodgers. Do you see Miggy Rowe coming back?
I'd say that's more 50-50 than Kike Hernandez. The Dodgers want to get younger. There's not too many spots where they can do that. And you look at their bench, I know they love and appreciate what Miguel Rojas brings, but I would just say that I wouldn't call it a slam dunk that he's coming back.
I completely disagree, of course, because if you're going to get younger, the younger guys have to play every day. Miguel Rojas is a veteran guy that doesn't need to play every day. He knows his role, and similar to Kike Hernandez, he doesn't have to be out there every single day, and when you need him, just like we saw in Game 6 and Game 7, he's able to perform. He didn't start
for 25 days.
For 25 days. Young guys don't do that. So I agree with you that we need to get younger, but if we're going to get younger, they have to play every day. You can't have young guys off the bench.
I'm not saying minor leaguers or guys breaking in. I'm just saying maybe trend a little bit younger with experienced players.
Miggy Rojas has to come back. Listen, because he's a leader. He knows his role and understands, hey, I can come in at the blink of an eye, second base, short, third base, pinch hit, start Game 6 and Game 7 of the World Series. You just don't find those guys. If you want to get younger, fine, but those are the guys that you play every day. If you want to implement some young guys, go sign a young guy to play center field or right field every single day, or a younger guy. But not your bench guys. Your bench guys have to be veteran guys that know their role.
And very valuable to have him around with Mookie Betts as well.
Yes.
Mookie's talked about how much he helped him.
He was a security blanket for him.
Yeah. All right, so it's hot stove season of Major League Baseball. Here's a partial list of big names on the free agent market. Former Dodger Cody Bellinger is out there, all these alphabetical. Bo Bichette of the Blue Jays, Red Sox third baseman Alex Bregman. They got the Mets closer Edwin Diaz. NL leader in homers Kyle Schwarber with the Phils. His Phillies teammate pitcher Ranger Suarez. Padres reliever Robert Suarez, and the Cubs outfielder Kyle Tucker. And Tucker's a guy who people have linked to the Dodgers really going back to the summer, just because the Dodgers do have a big need for an outfielder and they have the money. But when you consider the money, Jerry, in the years that Tucker's going to command, does it seem at all possible in your mind?
Well, it could be possible. It could be a fit. Obviously, we just talked about getting a little younger in position players. Kyle Tucker is a little younger. He's had a great start of his career. I know he was banged up last year for the Cubbies, but really, he's a guy who could drive the ball out of the ballpark. Excellent defender in the outfield and can run the bases as well. Sometimes you never know what happens down the road during free agency. Maybe it's a shorter-term deal with a lot of money up front. That could be something the Dodgers could do. But listen, Dodgers could do whatever they want. They can also give them a long-term deal. So everybody's in play for the Dodgers.
The shadow of the Dodgers looms over all of these free agents because of what Jerry said. At any moment, they could decide, yeah, you know what, that makes sense for us. But It seems like the growing consensus from the people I've spoken to in the industry is that the Blue Jays are the leading candidate to sign Kyle Tucker. They were runner-ups for Juan Soto. We all know they were runner-ups for Shohei Ohtani. They just went to the World Series. So Kyle Tucker, amongst the people I've spoken to, and the Blue Jays seem to be the fit. But the Dodgers, like we talked about, are always in the shadows if they decide that's something they want to do.
And they could put it behind Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the lineup.
Would that be any good?
It'd be pretty good for them. Yeah.
Well, the Dodgers finished the 2025 regular season with their worst bullpen ERA in 20 years. The 2005 team lost 91 games. This year's Dodgers team, of course, won a World Series, DV, but they did it by using a lot of starting pitchers in relief in October. We know they're going to try to add one, maybe two arms to that pen this winter, and there are some good names available, as we saw.
Yeah, I could see another area where the Dodgers are not in a need to add or overcommit to relievers. They have Tanner Scott coming back. They believe he's going to have a better year than he had last year. Evan Phillips likely comes back, pitches the second half of the season. So they're not going to dive in head first on any of these guys. If there's a reliever amongst this group that makes sense for 1 year, then yeah, they're going to probably entertain that more than somebody else.
I think they're going to be very aggressive. I just have this feeling. Yes, Tanner Scott, I really believe, is going to have a bounce-back season. We had a lot of injuries in our bullpen. Obviously, some guys didn't perform up to their standards. I have a feeling if there's a guy out there who could be that elite closer, they go out there and get that dude. Hey, Padres went out and got a closer at the trade deadline to add to their closer. Other teams got closers. Dodgers didn't do anything at the deadline. They've said in the past they rather do deals when? In the offseason as opposed to at the deadline. I have a feeling they're going to make a deal this offseason for an elite bullpen arm.
All right, so maybe one or two right-handed arms, we think. Star Japanese players also being posted to free agency. And, they're going to be connected to the Dodgers, the biggest of which, power-hitting third baseman Munetaka Murakami, who's hit 265 homers in 8 years in Japan. And adding fuel to the fire, Talkin' Baseball posted this of Murakami having dinner with none other than Yoshinobu Yamamoto. There's not an obvious fit probably for Murakami on the Dodgers right now, with Freddie Freeman at first, Max Muncy at third base. But that kind of power, DV, it's not easy to find. Are you hearing anything about the Dodgers and Murakami?
Have not heard any buzz about the Dodgers and Murakami. The one thing that I've heard is that he doesn't hit velocity. So similar to what the Dodgers did with Kim, they had to rework his swing to be able to compete against high velocity in Major League Baseball. Look, Yamamoto is a very popular, likable, approachable guy. So I could see that dinner being somewhat of what should I expect? How should I handle my free agency more than, okay, he's coming to the Dodgers automatically.
I agree. Listen, Yamamoto has plenty of money. And when you're a young player like him in Japan, you're looking for veteran guys.
And they're teammates.
They were teammates. Yeah, WBC, and they will be teammates, Team Japan. So, yeah, you're looking for free meals, too. So I wouldn't read into that. But, hey, this kid has a lot of power now. There have been guys in the past that have struggled with velocity, and they made the adjustments once they got to the States. I know Hideki Matsui, Godzilla made the adjustments. Even Shohei Ohtani, when he first got over here, he made the adjustment with velocity. Now, will he make that adjustment? That's yet to be seen. But, again, everybody can be linked to the Dodgers.
All right, still much more to come here on Access. The Dodgers team of all-stars became MLB's first repeat champ in a quarter century. We'll discuss legacies for Shohei, Freddie, Mookie, and Will Smith coming up next. Speaking of legacies, Clayton Kershaw will be a first ballot Hall of Famer as one of the greatest of all time. We'll count down the top 10 of Kershaw's brilliant 18-year career coming up. Shohei Ohtani continued to rack up the awards in 2025. He was the unanimous choice for NL MVP. First team All-MLB, won the Silver Slugger Award, the Hank Aaron Award, the Edgar Martinez Outstanding DH Award. Then, of course, in October, he was the NLCS MVP and became a World Series champion for the second straight year. And I don't know how Shohei does it, but he keeps raising the ceiling on himself. He continues to do more things we've never seen before in this game, and things even fellow big leaguers like Jerry, current and past, never thought they would see. But, Jerry, how do you think 2025 affected Shohei's legacy?
I think, for me, and for a bunch of former big leaguers, especially that NLCS game, 10 strikeouts, 6 innings pitched, 3 bombs to close out the NLCS, that put him ahead of anybody that's ever played this game. And I'm saying that no disrespect to Babe Ruth, Josh Gibson, Barry Bonds, Kern Griffey Jr. We saw a guy hit 3 bombs in the NLCS while striking out 10, not in different ball games, in the same game. He is the greatest player that's put on spikes, played our game. That's what he did. And oh, by the way, back-to-back champ. 2 years with the Dodgers, 2-time champ. Best I've ever seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it elevated his legacy. I feel like he established an elevation last year when he came to the Dodgers in his first year, became the first player to be 50-50 and helped the Dodgers win the championship last year. So I wouldn't say that this has elevated his
Even the
legacy.
pitching performance that Jerry's talking about, coupled with the 3 homers?
That was a great game, but he's already the greatest player even before that happened. I don't think that changes anything. I don't know how much more superlatives you could add after that.
I understand what he's saying, because there are guys that say, well, he's the greatest. I know CC Sabathia's talked about it all the time. He said this 6-7 years ago when he first came on the scene with the Angels, that he's the best player he's ever seen. But now that he's done it for a long time, the 50-50 was magical. Albert Bell, we know he went 50-50 as well. 50 homers, 50 doubles.
Was it Joey or Albert?
Easy. You don't want to get Albert on your bad side. But for him to do it pitching, and you said it earlier, DV, they were knocking him. Oh, he can't pitch. And he said, oh, I can't. I'm going to make sure I'm going to hit not 3 base hits. I'm hitting 3 bombs while striking out 10. I think that, even though you said a lot of people have him as the best ever, that really, to my opinion, cemented him as the best ever.
All right, yeah, taking the fact what he did in Game 3 of the World Series as well, reaching base 9 times in a Major League game with a couple of home runs. Freddie Freeman is now a 3-time World Series champ, had a walk-off homer in the World Series for the 2nd straight years, climbing up a lot of all-time lists. DV, how about Freddie's legacy?
Well, Freddie's already one of the greatest players we've ever seen in this generation. I feel like what he's done with the Dodgers, leading them to back-to-back championships and becoming the first player in baseball history to have walk-off home runs twice in the World Series, puts a lot of doubt when he does go into Cooperstown whether or not he'll have an A on his hat or he'll have an LA on his hat, because his signature moments of his career have now been with the Dodgers.
I don't think it's going to be any doubt now. You mentioned it. 2 walk-offs in the World Series, back-to-back champs. He's won 2 already with the Dodgers. Hopefully it'll be 3 or 4 or 5 before his career is up. He only won 1 in Atlanta, and no disrespect to Atlanta. I know he grew up there in Atlanta. So many great players. John Smoltz, obviously Greg Maddux, Chipper Jones. But I think now he's going to go in as a Hall of Famer, first ballot, as a Dodger, because he's starting to really do more things, more elite things on a grander scale with the Dodgers.
And what if he gets his 3,000th hit with the Dodgers? That's going to be in a Dodger uniform, too.
All right, a lot of things that he's approaching milestone-wise in the major leagues. Mookie Betts, now a 4-time World Series champ, 6-time Gold Glove right fielder who became a Gold Glove finalist in his first full season at shortstop. Jerry, how about the impact on Mookie's legacy?
He is the most skilled baseball player that has ever lived. I'm going to say it again. He's not the best baseball player. We talk about Shohei Ohtani. He's the most skilled baseball player that's ever lived. He is the best right fielder in the game right now defensively. He was up for a Gold Glove at shortstop this year. He easily could have won it his first year playing shortstop every single day. Not early in his career, but in the middle of his career. And oh, by the way, leading the Dodgers once again to back-to-back champs. He's also going to go in as a Dodger, first ballot Hall of Famer, and before it's all said and done, I think he's going to be a Gold Glover at shortstop.
We're talking about now a guy that has 4 World Series rings, 3 of them with the Dodgers, including back-to-back championships. He didn't have the season offensively that we know Mookie Betts can have. In fact, it was his worst offensive season we have ever seen from him. But for him to do what Jerry just explained, be a Gold Glove right fielder, 6 times Gold Glove right fielder, and then be a finalist at shortstop. I know we talk about Shohei Ohtani doing things we have never seen before, but I don't believe we give Mookie Betts enough credit for doing something we have never seen before. When was the last time you saw an elite right fielder in his 30s, move to the infield to the premium position of shortstop
Doesn't happen.
and be a finalist at shortstop. You see a guy go to left field, you don't see them come to the dirt.
Fans understand and appreciate what we're seeing, okay? Roberto Clemente, Mookie Betts, right field. Then he becomes Jimmy Rollins at shortstop. Same guy, Mookie Betts. Roberto Clemente, Jimmy Rollins, all in one. That's what Mookie Betts has done. Right field to shortstop, incredible.
He would have won the MVP if he didn't break his hand last year, too.
Yeah.
Oh, in 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly had a great chance to beat out his teammate. All right, let's move on to Will Smith. He started the All-Star game this year, won his third ring, continued to be clutch as we saw in Game 7 of the World Series. DV, his legacy certainly got another bump in 25.
Well, remember, when he got called up, everybody was already comparing him to Buster Posey. Well, he has as many rings as Buster Posey had in his career, and I'll venture to say that he's more clutch than Buster Posey was in his career. So he now has a reputation of being the most clutch hitter in baseball right now.
You know what's amazing? You're wearing 16, Rick Monday with the Dodgers, Andre Ethier with the Dodgers, and now Will Smith. The clutch in that uniform is epic, and we know Will Smith has been so clutch in the regular season walk-offs and then putting us ahead for good. Game 7 of the World Series, time after time, he has continued to get clutch hits, and oh, by the way, he caught every single inning of this past World Series, including that 18-inning affair in the World Series. This guy, he is ticketed. I don't think he's there yet because he needs more years. He's on his way to Cooperstown as well.
Without a doubt. I mean, a catcher doing what he's doing. I mean, and with a broken hand for the first 3 rounds of the postseason.
And you know what the most impressive thing? He hits his 3 with about 335 yards.
As you saw, in Vegas last week, he can hit a golf ball an absolute mile. Still more to come. Clayton Kershaw's quite secure with his legacy, one of the best we've ever seen. He's now 3 weeks into retirement. One more time, we'll count down the top 10 of his Hall of Fame career, with an addition this time, by the way. Plus, Chase Utley, a Philly legend, a Dodger fan favorite, but is he a Hall of Famer? The 2026 ballot has been revealed, and some former Dodgers could be getting the call to Cooperstown.
Your stuff sometimes comes and goes, but your ability to compete, that's what wins games.
So let's see now what young Clayton Kershaw will do. Got it. He's done it.
The Dodgers strikeout king.
All he does is everything.
Vintage 22 tonight. The future Hall of Famer's got a ring.
I can't imagine being anywhere else right now. I love you guys. Thank you. Dodger for life.
Dodger for life, champion for life, a 3-time World Series champ and a no-doubt first ballot Hall of Famer in the summer of 2031. Clayton Kershaw now 3 weeks into retirement after spending 18 incredible seasons with the Dodgers. Let's recap the best of Kersh, the top 10 of his brilliant career. Number 10, Jerry, we got to go way back to spring training 2008, rocking 96 and buckling Sean Casey.
Ooh, look at that whooper duper, as D-Train says. He knee knocked right there.
And then your friend Skip Schumacher, his first big league K.
Texas Rangers skipper, Skip Schumacher, wiping him out with that fastball there. All smiles.
May of 2008 for that one. Number 9, Clayton's true breakout year, DB, was in 2011. Won his first Cy Young, had 21 wins, 2.28 ERA.
That was the shining moment for the Dodgers, along with Matt Kemp coming close to winning the MVP in 2011. It was not a great team year, but Kershaw stood out amongst everybody else that year.
Also won a Cy Young in 2013 with a 1.83 ERA. Kershaw with some cat-like reflexes at number 8.
It's butted in the air, and Kershaw makes a diving play, and now a double play. Clayton Edward Kershaw. All he does is everything.
Jerry, we saw Clayton field a lot of plays, a lot of baseballs, and make great plays.
Well, he's a baseball player. A little behind-the-back stab right there. A little Tim Hudson in the highlight as well. Love that. And here, no eyes. And I love this little Roberto Alomar slide and able to pop up and fire a strike. And remember, he's that football player. Played with Matt Stafford back in there. He will tackle guys on a baseball field as well if it means to get it out. And look at the reflexes. This ball 110 miles an hour off the bat, able to make that play.
Oh, Kershaw. fielding his position. Number 7, you go back to September 29th, 2015, DV. Magic number to win the West was down to 1. All he did was go out and strike out 13 and throw a complete game against the Giants.
And that was the defending World Series champion Giants that the Dodgers knocked off that year. I talked to Kershaw in his final game at Oracle Park this year, and I asked him whether or not that was the greatest game he ever pitched there. He told me, yes, that's the best game I ever pitched there.
Number 6 is Kershaw, the postseason reliever, Jerry. We saw this in 2016, 2018, and, of course, here in 2025.
We asked him to do so much in the postseason. Start games, finish series, and he did that in D.C. and in Milwaukee as well. Clayton Kershaw, whenever you need him, as a starter, reliever, doesn't matter here. That final pitch there at Dodger Stadium, clutch. Get that out.
The last pitch he would throw in his major league career.
That's how we all felt.
Oh, my goodness. Number 5, very first start of 2022 at Target Field in Minnesota. 7 perfect innings. And a few months later, he was perfect into the 8th inning in this season, DV.
The one thing I remember the most about this is arguing and debating with Kershaw after the game at his locker about fighting to stay in that game. And the snow was falling in the 9th inning of that game. The debate between Kershaw and I continued the next morning as I was getting coffee. And that just shows you every time you wanted to count him out or force him into retirement, he showed you the great ones have a way to fight and stay in and be great.
And that same year, he would start the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium. What a cool moment that was. At number 4, Jerry, you've called this maybe your favorite moment of Kershaw's career. Opening day 2013, complete game shutout, and also hits a home run late to break a scoreless tie.
Yeah, it's a great team, that Giants team at Dodger Stadium. Got a scoreless tie, you mentioned, gets a fastball center cut, and he does not miss it. Kershaw always asks us to do Access 360 with that home run, his only big home run. Great day for Captain Kershaw.
He had to carry you that day.
Number 3, celebrating the 3-time World Series champion. DV got a ring in 2020, a ring in a parade in 24, and another one here in 25.
Let's just set the record straight right now. Kershaw had many great postseason performances. In the 20 World Series, he won both of his starts and had a 2.31 ERA and picked off Randy Arozarena trying to steal home plate in that World Series.
3-time champ, Dodger for life, Clayton Kershaw, now retired from Major League Baseball.
It's at the Mavericks game last night.
Number 2, milestone strikeout moments. Jerry, April 30th, 2022, all-time Dodgers strikeout leader, and of course, back in July of this year, number 3,000.
You know, obviously a guy that has done so many great things, great moments, especially at Dodger Stadium here. I am so glad we all are to get that 3,000 strikeout at Dodger Stadium so he can enjoy with his family and all the Dodger fans.
What a great moment that was, one of many this year at Dodger Stadium, Clayton Kershaw's swan song. At number 1, DV, it's 2014. It was a magical season, 21 wins. His ERA was 1.77. First National League pitcher since Bob Gibson to also win the league MVP. Gibson did it in 1968. Of course, the best start of that season was the no-hitter, which we're going to see.
That's back when pitchers used to hit, John. And the one thing I remember about that season was when he was on the mound, he was a pitcher. When he released the ball, he was a fielder. When he was on the bases, he was a base runner. He did it all that year.
And here was that defining moment, the no-no.
Got it. He's done it. Clayton Kershaw pitches a no-hitter.
And if not for a Hanley Ramirez throwing error, it could have been a perfect game and arguably the greatest game ever pitched. That's how dominant Kershaw was that night against the Colorado Rockies.
He had everything working. And that Colorado Rockies team wasn't great, but they could swing the bat that year. Clayton Kershaw doing incredible things.
What a moment. I keep saying that, so many for Kershaw in his career by the numbers. The final career record looks like a misprint. 223 wins, fewer than 100 losses, 2.53 ERA, the lowest for a starting pitcher in the live ball era since 1920. His whip barely over 1, finished with 3,052 strikeouts, 3 Cy Youngs, that NL MVP in 2014, and yes, a 3-time World Series champ. And Clayton got to go out on his own terms, also gets to go out winning back-to-back World Series. He and Ellen, they have 4 kids. There's another one on the way. We know he's looking forward to being a full-time dad and husband in retirement, DV. Do you think he's going to be all family all the time moving forward, or at some point do you think he'll get back into baseball in some capacity?
All these guys say they want to be all in with their family until they have that competitive DNA inside of them to find a way to still compete in some way. So I personally believe he'll come and be a rover or be in spring training, but if you can believe this, I believe his future is in the media. I think he could be a great national broadcast analyst.
I completely agree with that. Listen, Clayton Kershaw can do whatever he wants in this game. I think he'll take a year to kind of decompress, be with his family. And I think maybe a year or two, maybe not much more than that, Ellen's going to say, hey, you know what? You need to get out of the house, okay? Because she's used to her husband being on the go. And guess what? And I told Clayton Kershaw this. My father played big league baseball, and as a kid, you're used to your father working. You're used to your father being at the ballpark. So I think he will have a role some way, in some capacity, with the Dodgers. Maybe do some TV with us. Maybe, you know, go to spring training. But I think the kids are going to want him to do something because they can come to Dodger Stadium. They can come to spring training. I think that would be a move once he's kind of decompressed.
John, I don't know about you, but I feel like Kershaw would fit perfectly right in that seat.
In this seat?
Yeah, I think he would look great right here.
He would look great in any seat here in studio or at the stadium.
How long's your deal?
You're still here?
Hey, somebody's always coming for you. You know that in baseball.
That is true. I just saw Mookie Betts put on a show, and I told Mookie, how long's your deal? Because days are numbered for me.
All right, well, still more to come. On Tuesday, the Dodgers hosted their annual Thanksgiving turkey drive-through giveaway at the LA Dream Center. Will Klein and other Dodgers alumni on hand to distribute more than 1,500 turkeys, sides, all the fixings. The event was co-sponsored by Jacoby and Myers, working together with LA Unified Schools and community leaders to make sure the right families had access to the food during the holiday season. Well, Thanksgiving's all about family, friends, and good food, but it's also about appreciating the things that make our lives better. Let's put a World Series champion spin on the holiday. Jerry, what about the Dodgers in 2025? Are you thankful for? Audio Joe getting work.
You know what? Listen, for all their talent, it was their mental toughness. That's what I am thankful for. Their mental toughness allowed them to repeat. We saw so many guys, and obviously now know, that were banged up, injured, hurting. They found a way. Now, they didn't hit to their liking in the postseason, especially in the World Series, but they found a way to be clutch when they needed it most defensively, offensively. Saw Miggy Rowe step up, Will Smith hitting that go-ahead home run, Miggy Rowe hitting that tying home run. How about Mookie Betts closing it out? The World Series, that young man right there, Yamamoto, he needs all the love because he's the guy who stepped up. Talk about mental toughness. Yamamoto, doesn't matter. 1 day rest? No. No days rest. I'm going out there and closing out this World Series, epic World Series by Yamamoto, but all of them, their mental toughness.
I really like that one, DV. How about for you?
I'm going with the most underrated Dodger. Incredibly, the guy that hit the go-ahead home run that delivered the World Series championship in the 11th inning, and that is Mr. Clutch himself, Will Smith, who now has 10 postseason home runs in his career. 4 of them have driven in the winning run. Tell me any other player that has that on his resume. Not to mention the guy was playing with a broken hand. I bet if they took an x-ray of his hand after he hit that home run, it would still show a partial fracture in that right hand. I think we all forget how he played every inning because he had a broken hand. Ben Rortvedt started the postseason, and then Will Smith was able to push through and be part of the Dodgers postseason run. But for me, I'm thankful for Will Smith.
All right, so I am thankful for 18 years of Clayton Kershaw and thankful that Clayton Kershaw got to have his World Series moment right here, getting out of this bases-loaded jam. The only batter he faced in the Fall Classic, the last pitch he ever throws as a major leaguer, was huge to extend that game where the Dodgers would eventually get a walk-off. And we remember, he was hurt, missed all of last year's World Series run, and he was able to have that World Series moment and go out back-to-back champ, a 3-time World Series champ, the greatest to ever do it with the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw. Still more to come. Life is good when you are a World Series champion. We'll join Blake Snell on a whirlwind tour around the LA sports scene coming up.
the ninth inning in Game 7. Blue Jays in position to win it.
The Dodgers have to get at least one run. Miguel Rojas coming up. Drilled to left field and deep. This ball's got some carry. Miguel Rojas on the board in Game 7. Fly ball to left field. Hernandez on the run. Rojas reaches up and makes the catch as he crashes into Kike. Incredible. Smith with a smash in the air to deep left field. It is gone. As number 16 stays clutch.
Reminder, the baseball games might be over. Now comes the interesting part of things. It's the off season. Over the next few months, free agency, awards week, the winter meetings, a ton of roster moves all around the game. As always, we will be right here throughout the winter for Access Sportsnet Dodgers. Probably some live news conferences and guests joining us as well. Sportsnet LA is your year-round home for the back-to-back World Series champions. And to the victor go the spoils. Last week we celebrated. Elizabeth Olsen was giving David Vassay some love on all the late night talk shows. This week, Davey, your guy Blake Snell showing out he's continuing to live his best life. He's going to Lakers games. He's at Kings games. He's on Twitch with all of his peeps. What do you think of your guy, Blake Snell?
I love it. I love that he's really embracing being a world champion for the first time in his career. He's not shying away from it. He's not acting like he's too big time. You know, his flannel is not the reason why his jump shot stinks, but he has loved being invited to all these sporting events. He was just at the Rams-Seahawks game after being at the Kings and Lakers game. There he is on the field, and really he's just embracing it and loves being a Dodger.
And what's this whole Twitch thing, by the way?
Well, he's a gamer. He's a streamer.
Okay.
And sometimes he forgets that people are clipping whatever he says. It's not a FaceTime between the three of us. It's like on a national platform. So sometimes he gets a little loose, but he is entertaining.
Yeah, I thought Twitch was like some sort of dance. But hey, listen, this is what guys should be doing. Once you win the World Series, man, do your rounds. Do some late-night talk shows. Go to Laker games, Kings games, Rams games as well. Enjoy it. Blake Snell, as the kids say, are living their best life. And back to Elizabeth Olsen. You are such an incredible woman to give this right here, this guy right here, love.
Come on.
Incredible person.
Thank you, Jerry.
Jerry, you mentioned dancing. You thought Twitch was a dance. How about the worm? Freddie Freeman, 36 years old, 6'4". He's a specimen. Not easy to do a lot of things at that size. He went viral at Mookie's World Series party 2 weeks ago, doing the worm. And then over the weekend, did it at Gavin Lux's wedding as well. Pressured by Luxy to do it.
I heard that he's also going to be joining Twitch, but he's going to do this, but he's going to be charging for it. About $1,000 a pop, but he is very limber. As you can see, he eases into it, and then he goes. That's the key when you're doing the worm. Let the body flow freely.
Freddie can make a lot of money on Thanksgiving if he just sells his services to do the worm at your Thanksgiving dinner to spice up life. You know, when he first got drafted by the Braves, they told him you cannot do the worm anymore. But this is something that's
a real thing?
That's a real thing. He has said it.
Because he did the worm that much as said, hey, no more worm.
I mean, he does it every other week now, apparently, but the way he delivers it, you should try that, Hard Tongue.
Okay, maybe sometime. For Jerry and Davey, I'm John. Thanks for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
いかがだったでしょうか。優勝特番はいつまで続くのでしょうか。本格的なストーブリーグに突入した MLB。本チャンネルではタイムリーに情報をお届けしていきます。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。